Captain Jane Too Much Coffee Murphy was having what she considered a perfectly normal Tuesday morning aboard the improbable Earth's first, and only faster-than-light capable vessel. This meant she was on her fourth cup of coffee, had already avoided 3 minor catastrophes, and was seriously considering whether the ship's artificial gravity was actually necessary, or just another annoying regulation she could ignore. Captain called out Communications Officer Liam O'Brien from his station, his voice carrying that special tone reserved for people about to deliver bad news to someone who's already over-caffeinated. "We're picking up an incoming transmission. It's definitely not human." Murphy took another sip of coffee, deliberately ignoring the way her hand was shaking. Finally, after 6 months of flying around in space looking for intelligent life, they decide to show up right when I'm about to break my personal record for consecutive hours without an alien invasion. "Ma'am, we've never had an alien invasion." "Exactly. I was at 8,722 hours. Do you know how long that is, O'Brien?" "That's exactly 1 year, Captain." Actually, O'Brien started, living up to his nickname of Actually O'Brien. "It's closer to 363 days, considering the variations in Earth's rotation and—" "Put them on screen," Murphy interrupted, knowing from experience that O'Brien's corrections could last longer than some military campaigns. The main view screen flickered to life, revealing what appeared to be the bridge of another spacecraft. The alien commander looked exactly like someone had taken every sci-fi movie cliché, thrown them in a blender, and hit puree. Tall, vaguely humanoid with gray skin, large black eyes, and what appeared to be either ceremonial armor or a very ambitious attempt at modern art. "Greetings, primitive species," the alien announced in perfect English, which Murphy found both convenient and slightly suspicious. "I am Supreme Commander Crix of the Galactic Dominion. Your planet has been selected for immediate conquest and integration into our empire." Murphy took another sip of coffee. "Is that all?" The alien blinked all 4 of its eyes in sequence, clearly not expecting this response. What? I mean, is that your whole speech? No dramatic monologue about your species' superiority? No detailed threats? No demands for our unconditional surrender?" Murphy gestured with her coffee mug, accidentally splashing some on her uniform. "I just expected more from my first alien conquest attempt, that's all. I'm feeling a little underwhelmed here." Supreme Commander Crix's gray skin took on a slightly purplish tinge. "We are the most powerful civilization in this sector. Our technology is centuries beyond yours. Our military might is unmatched." "There you go," Murphy smiled encouragingly. "That's more like it. Although you might want to work on your delivery. Maybe add some dramatic pauses. Chief Engineer Patterson, what do you think?" "Duke, that might work." Patterson looked up from where he was attempting to fix a control panel with what appeared to be duct tape and optimism. "Could use more explosions in the background. Alien threats always look better with explosions." The alien commander's face was now shifting through colors faster than a malfunctioning lead. "You dare mock the Galactic Dominion? Your primitive species cannot even properly maintain artificial gravity." He gestured at something off-screen, and suddenly the image was filled with hundreds of warships. Murphy glanced down at her floating coffee cup, and the drops of coffee hanging in perfect spheres around her head. "Oh, that? No, I just turned it off. Makes the coffee last longer when you have to chase it around the bridge." She reached out and grabbed a floating droplet with practiced ease. "Also, it's fun." "You have one of your planetary rotations to surrender," Crix announced, clearly trying to regain control of the conversation. "After that, we will demonstrate our power by destroying your largest military installation." "That's more like it," Murphy beamed. "See? You're getting better at this already. O'Brien, send a message to Earth. Let them know we've got company coming and they might want to put on something nice." As the transmission ended, Murphy looked at her now empty coffee cup and the array of alien warships on the screen. "Patterson, how long would it take you to weaponize a coffee maker?" "That might work," Patterson mused, already reaching for his tool belt. "Give me an hour and 3 rolls of duct tape." "Make it 2 hours," Murphy said, watching the alien fleet. "And add some glitter. If we're going to have Earth's first alien invasion, we might as well make it sparkle." She turned to her crew, a grin spreading across her face that would have made any sane person run for the nearest escape pod. "Ladies, gentlemen, and various others, let's show these aliens why humanity's motto has always been hold my beer and watch this." The emergency United Nations Security Council meeting was going exactly as Murphy had expected, which is to say, it was absolute chaos. She watched from her position at the podium as representatives from various nations argued, gesticulated, and occasionally threw wadded-up papers at each other. Order. Order in the chamber. Secretary General Rodriguez banged his gavel, which would have been more effective if someone hadn't replaced it with a rubber chicken during the last recess. The resulting squeak did, however, startle everyone into momentary silence. Captain Murphy Rodriguez said, trying to maintain his dignity while holding a rubber chicken, "You mean to tell us that an advanced alien civilization has given Earth 24 hours to surrender, and your response was to critique their dramatic delivery?" "In my defense, sir, it was really subpar." Murphy took a sip from her travel mug, which now sported several suspicious modifications courtesy of Chief Engineer Patterson. "I mean, if you're going to threaten to conquer a planet, you should at least put some effort into it. And you turned off your ship's artificial gravity to make your coffee last longer. Also because it's fun, sir. But mainly the coffee thing." The Chinese representative stood up. "This is preposterous. We should be preparing our military defenses, not discussing the theatrical quality of alien threats." Actually, O'Brien chimed in from his seat beside Murphy. "Historical precedent suggests that diplomatic first-contact situations often hinge on seemingly trivial details of cultural exchange. For instance, in 1845. Murphy cut him off before he could start another historical lecture. "The point is, ladies and gentlemen, that we have approximately 22 hours left before the Galactic Dominion attempts to destroy our largest military installation. And based on my observations, I don't think they've done their homework." "Explain," demanded the Russian representative, who had been quietly building a paper airplane out of classified documents. "Well," Murphy gestured with her coffee mug, causing several nearby officials to duck, "they said they'd target our largest military installation. But here's the thing, they're assuming we build military bases like they do. You know, all in one place, clearly marked. Probably with a big sign saying, 'Please bomb here for maximum effect.'" Patterson, who had been tinkering with something under the conference table, popped his head up. "That might work in our favor, Captain. They're probably looking for something like their own bases, centralized, efficient, logical." "Exactly," Murphy grinned. "But humanity didn't get where we are by being logical. We got here by being the species that looked at coffee beans and thought, I bet if I roast these, grind them up, and add hot water, it'll taste great." We're the species that invented bubble wrap and then spent more time popping it than using it for packaging. "Your point?" Captain Rodriguez asked, still clutching his rubber chicken gavel. "My point is that Earth's military might isn't concentrated in one place. It's spread out across the globe, mixed in with civilian infrastructure, and half of it is probably held together with duct tape and spite. We don't need to match their technology. We just need to be weird enough to confuse them." "That might work," Patterson muttered, now attaching what appeared to be Christmas lights to Murphy's coffee mug. Captain Murphy, the British representative, spoke up. "Are you suggesting we defend Earth by being deliberately incomprehensible?" "Oh, no." Murphy took another sip of her now slightly glowing coffee. "I'm suggesting we defend Earth by being exactly what we are. Humans. The species that turned nuclear physics into clean energy and also used it to make glow-in-the-dark watch faces. The civilization that went to the moon because someone dared us we couldn't. The people who invented both the internet and cat videos." O'Brien raised his hand. "Actually, the first cat video was uploaded in." "The point is," Murphy continued loudly, "we don't need to outfight them. We just need to be so distinctly, uniquely, and chaotically human that they have no idea how to handle us." The chamber was quiet for a moment, broken only by the soft ticking of Patterson's modified coffee mug, which had somehow gained a countdown timer. "And you have a plan?" Rodriguez asked, finally setting down the rubber chicken. Murphy's grin widened. "Sir, I have several plans. All of them are terrible, most of them are probably illegal in at least 12 countries, and at least one involves teaching an alien civilization about internet memes." "That might work," Patterson said, now wearing what appeared to be a colander as a helmet. "Well," Rodriguez sighed, looking around the chamber at the paper airplanes, the rubber chicken, and the general chaos that seemed to follow humanity wherever it went, "I suppose if we're going to face an alien invasion, we might as well do it in style." Murphy raised her glowing coffee mug in a toast. "Ladies and gentlemen, let's show the galaxy why you should never underestimate a species that invented both space travel and pizza with pineapple on it." Actually, O'Brien started, but everyone had already stopped listening. Back aboard the S Improbable, Murphy had assembled what she liked to call her crisis team, which was really just the regular crew plus whoever happened to be awake at the time. The ship's conference room now looked like a cross between a military command center and a college dorm during finals week. "All right, people," Murphy announced, standing at the head of the table with her 8th cup of coffee for the day. "We've got 19 hours to prepare Earth's defenses, and thanks to that UN meeting, we now have official authorization to, and I quote, do whatever it takes as long as it doesn't violate too many international laws or start another meme war." Actually, O'Brien raised his hand. The Geneva Convention specifically doesn't cover extraterrestrial conflicts, so technically. "Thank you, O'Brien," Murphy interrupted. "Patterson, what have you got for me?" Chief Engineer Patterson looked up from what appeared to be a laptop that had mated with a toaster. "That might work, Captain. I've been analyzing their transmission, and I think I found something interesting. Their ships use a quantum-based communication system that's vulnerable to..." He paused for dramatic effect. "Cat videos." The room went silent except for the soft humming of Patterson's laptop toaster hybrid. "I'm sorry," Lieutenant Zhang from Tactical said. "Did you just say their advanced alien communication system is vulnerable to cat videos?" "That might work," Patterson nodded enthusiastically, his colander helmet now decorated with blinking Christmas lights. "Their quantum systems are designed to handle perfect, orderly data streams. But cat videos, especially ones with random zooming and poor camera work, total chaos. It's like trying to predict where a cat will sleep in a room full of empty boxes." Murphy took a long sip of coffee, considering this. "So you're saying we can disrupt their entire fleet's communications by spamming them with cat videos?" Actually, O'Brien chimed in, the first viral cat video was uploaded in 2006, and studies have shown that feline-based content makes up approximately. Focus. People. Murphy snapped her fingers, which would have been more effective if Patterson hadn't rigged her coffee mug to shoot sparks whenever she moved too quickly. "We need more than just cat videos. We need to show them the full spectrum of human weirdness." "That might work," Patterson said, now attaching what looked suspiciously like a disco ball to the ceiling. "I can rig our communications array to broadcast on their frequencies. We could send them everything: memes, viral videos, late-night infomercials. The entire history of human internet culture," Murphy mused. "O'Brien, how long would it take you to compile a greatest hits of human weirdness playlist?" Actually, considering the vast amount of content and the need for proper historical context, he caught Murphy's expression. 4 hours, Captain." "Make it 3. Zhang, what about our defensive capabilities?" Lieutenant Zhang had been quietly building a fort out of empty energy drink cans. "Well, Captain, I've been thinking. They're expecting us to either surrender or mount some kind of conventional military defense. But what if we did neither?" "Go on." Murphy leaned forward, her coffee mug leaving a trail of sparkles in the air. "What if we treated their invasion like a particularly aggressive tourist visit? Roll out the welcome mat, but make everything so aggressively, chaotically human that they don't know how to respond." "That might work." Patterson nodded, now wearing what appeared to be a second colander on top of the first one. "We could reprogram the planetary defense satellites to project giant holographic welcome signs. Maybe add some dancing cats. And we could broadcast every Earth language simultaneously," O'Brien added. "Actually, there are approximately 7,151 known living languages, not counting extinct ones or regional dialects." Murphy held up her hand, stopping O'Brien's impending linguistics lecture. "So let me get this straight. Our plan is to defend Earth by disrupting their communications with cat videos, bombarding them with the weirdest parts of human culture, treating their invasion force like confused tourists, generally being as chaotic as possible." "That might work," Patterson said, now attempting to teach a coffee maker to play chess. Murphy looked around the room at her crew, O'Brien consulting his historical databases, Zhang building increasingly elaborate fortifications, and Patterson, who had somehow acquired a third colander and was using them as a makeshift satellite dish. "You know what? This is exactly the kind of plan that makes absolutely no sense but somehow works because it's so human." She raised her sparking coffee mug. "Ladies and gentlemen, let's initiate Operation Hold My Beer." Actually, O'Brien started. The phrase "hold my beer" originated in. But Murphy was already out the door, leaving a trail of coffee-scented glitter in her wake. Behind her, Patterson's chess-playing coffee maker made its first move, somehow checkmating itself in one turn. Zhang looked at the chaos around them and shrugged. "Well, if we're going to confuse an alien invasion force, we're off to a great start." "That might work," Patterson agreed, now wearing 4 colanders and what appeared to be a tea strainer as an earring. With just 6 hours remaining until the Galactic Dominion's deadline, Earth was ready, or at least as ready as a planet could be when its primary defense strategy involved cat videos and weaponized confusion. Captain Murphy stood on the bridge of the S Improbable, watching as Patterson made final adjustments to what he called the cultural chaos cannon but was actually just the ship's communication array, wrapped in Christmas lights and forced to interface with a modified TikTok server. Status report, Murphy commanded, sipping from her 15th coffee of the day. The mug now played a different national anthem every time she took a drink. Actually, O'Brien began, surrounded by historical documents and what appeared to be a complete collection of internet memes sorted by year. We've compiled approximately 147 terabytes of human cultural data, focusing on content that would be particularly incomprehensible to a logical, militaristic species. That might work, Patterson called from inside a nest of cables and blinking lights. The transmission system is ready. I've managed to boost our signal by routing it through every satellite dish on Earth, including several that were just trying to get better pizza delivery coverage. Lieutenant Zhang looked up from her tactical station, which now resembled a gaming setup more than military equipment. Defense systems are, well, I wouldn't say ready, but they're definitely something. We've reprogrammed all the warning systems to play "Never Gonna Give You Up" on repeat. Did you just say we're going to rickroll an alien invasion fleet? Murphy asked, her coffee mug now playing the Soviet national anthem. Actually, the practice of rickrolling began in 2007 on 4chan when... Not now, O'Brien. Patterson, are you sure this will work? Patterson emerged from his cable nest wearing what appeared to be 6 colanders arranged in a pyramid formation on his head. And that might work. The moment they scan us for military response, they'll get hit with everything from dancing baby videos to that one video of a guy playing through the fire and flames on a rubber chicken. Incoming transmission, O'Brien announced. It's Supreme Commander Kriegs. The main screen flickered to life, showing the alien commander looking even more irritated than before, if that was possible. Your time is nearly up, humans. Have you prepared your surrender? Murphy took a long sip of coffee, her mug now playing the Star-Spangled Banner with a dubstep remix. Oh, we've prepared something all right. Patterson, initiate Operation Hold My Beer. That might work, Patterson said, pressing a button that really should have been labeled something more professional than Release the Kraken of Confusion. Instantly, every screen on the alien ships began broadcasting Earth's greatest hits of weird internet culture. Nyan cats soared across their tactical displays. Their navigation system started displaying directions in the style of early 2000s MapQuest. Their communication channels were flooded with every variation of "all your base or belong to us" ever created. What is this? Kriegs demanded, his gray skin cycling through colors faster than a malfunctioning RGB gaming keyboard. This, Murphy grinned, gesturing with her mug, which had switched to playing sea shanty remixes. This is humanity, Commander. You said you wanted to see our largest military installation? Well, surprise the entire internet is our weapon. On the tactical display, Zhang watched as the alien fleet's formation began to break down. Captain, their ships are losing coordination. I think they're trying to make sense of why someone would put bread on a cat's face. Actually, O'Brien started. The phenomenon known as cat breading began in. Send in Wave 2, Murphy ordered, cutting him off. Patterson, now wearing what appeared to be an entire kitchen's worth of cooking implements as armor, pressed another button labeled Maximum Overdrive in case of aliens. Suddenly, every alien ship's computer system was bombarded with virtual pop-up ads from the 1990s, all asking if they wanted to be the 1,000,001 visitor to win a free iPod. This is impossible, Kriegs shouted, his bridge now apparently playing Hamster Dance on repeat. How are you doing this? What kind of warfare is this? Oh, this isn't warfare, Murphy said, taking another sip as her mug played the Jurassic Park theme performed by kazoos. This is just Tuesday on the internet. You should see what we do when we're actually trying to be weird. Their flagship systems are going haywire, Zhang reported. I think someone just sent them the entire history of lolcats with machine-translated captions. Actually, the linguistic evolution of lolcat speak is quite fascinating. Not now, O'Brien, everyone shouted in unison. On the screen, Kriegs was desperately trying to maintain control of his fleet while his own ship's systems apparently kept trying to teach him about the history of the dancing baby meme. Murphy stood up, her coffee mug now somehow performing a one-mug version of Beethoven's Fifth Symphony. Want? We don't want anything. We're just sharing our culture. Isn't that what First Contact is all about? Although if you'd like to retreat and never threaten Earth again, we wouldn't complain. That might work as a suggestion, Patterson added, his colander tower now picking up cable TV signals from 1987. Captain John called out. Their fleet is starting to withdraw. I think the combination of spam email subjects from the early 2000s and videos of people attempting the Cinnamon Challenge was too much for them. Murphy watched as the alien ships began to retreat, their once perfect formation now resembling a group of confused tourists trying to exit a roundabout. Well, would you look at that? Humanity's first alien invasion, successfully repelled by cat videos and memes. Actually, O'Brien began. But everyone had learned to tune him out by this point. As the last alien ship disappeared from their sensors, Murphy turned to her crew. Good work, everyone. Patterson, you can probably take off some of those colanders now. That might work, Patterson replied, although he made no move to remove his kitchenware helmet. But I'm picking up free Wi-Fi from 2012 with these things. Murphy looked at her coffee mug, which had finally run out of national anthems, and was now playing whale songs backward. I think we've learned something important today. That human culture is an effective weapon against logical alien civilizations, Zhang suggested. That the internet's chaotic nature serves as a perfect defense mechanism, Patterson offered through his colander pyramid. Actually, the psychological impact of information overload on organized military structures, O'Brien started. No, Murphy interrupted, finishing her coffee as her mug performed its finale, with the 1812 overture, using only cat meows. We learned that if you're going to threaten humanity, you'd better be prepared for humanity to respond in the most human way possible, with absolute chaos and a side of cat videos. That might work as a lesson, Patterson agreed. His colanders now somehow picking up signals from a parallel universe where everything was the same except all music was performed by rubber chickens. And somewhere in deep space, Supreme Commander Crix was trying to explain to his superiors why Earth was now classified as that weird planet nobody wants to mess with seriously. Don't even try it. Supreme Commander Crix wasn't having a good day. In fact, he was having what the humans would call a massive technological migraine with a side of existential crisis. His fleet's retreat had been less of a strategic withdrawal and more of a running away while trying to delete browser history across an entire armada. But now he was back, and this time he had a plan. A proper military plan that didn't involve getting bombarded with something called Doge memes. Attention, improbable, he transmitted, his image appearing on their main screen with what he hoped was intimidating gravitas. Your unusual tactics have forced us to take more direct action. Murphy looked up from where she was helping Patterson install what appeared to be a disco ball made entirely of old AOL installation CDs. Oh, hey there, did you enjoy our cultural exchange program? My ships are still trying to stop playing something called Keyboard Cat, Crix growled. But no matter. We have analyzed your tactics and developed countermeasures. Your chaos cannot defeat US twice. Actually, O'Brien chimed in. The statistical probability of the same defensive strategy working multiple times does decrease significantly, as shown by the Battle of Britain in 1940 when. O'Brien, Murphy interrupted. What did we say about historical analogies during alien confrontations? Only use them if they involve cats or coffee. That might work as a rule, Patterson called from inside what looked like a makeshift Faraday cage built from energy drink cans and fairy lights. Crix cleared his throat, or whatever passed for a throat in his species. We have developed specialized firewalls against your primitive internet weapons. Our systems are now immune to your, what did you call them? Memes. Murphy took a sip from her coffee mug, which had been upgraded to play a medley of TV theme songs performed by a choir of rubber ducks. Oh, those weren't weapons. That was just us saying hello. Patterson, show them what we've been working on for the past hour. That might work, Patterson grinned, emerging from his fortress wearing what appeared to be a combination of his colander pyramid and a satellite dish decorated with disco lights. Initiating Project Why Not Zoidberg. Before Crix could respond, every screen in his fleet began displaying what could only be described as the entire history of human pop culture compressed into a single, overwhelmingly chaotic stream of consciousness. What is this? Crix demanded as his ship's systems tried to process everything from interpretive dance videos of quantum physics equations to a supercut of every cat video ever made. All set to a soundtrack that seemed to be every song ever written played simultaneously. This Murphy grinned, her coffee mug now performing an opera composed entirely of dial-up modem sounds. This is humanity's greatest superpower, our ability to create order from chaos by making the chaos so overwhelming that it loops right back around to making sense. Their systems are trying to adapt, Zhang reported from her tactical station, which now looked like a cross between a DJ booth and a NASA control center. But they can't figure out why someone would deep fry a meme, let alone why it's considered an improvement. Actually, O'Brien began, the practice of deep frying memes originated in. Not now, O'Brien, everyone shouted, including several of the alien ship's automated response systems. On the screen, Crix was visibly struggling to maintain his composure as his ship's artificial intelligence attempted to categorize and understand why humans had spent 3 decades photoshopping sunglasses onto increasingly unlikely objects. Your firewalls can't help you, Murphy explained, casually juggling 3 coffee mugs that were performing a 3-part harmony of sea shanties. They're designed to block hostile code, but this isn't hostile, it's just humanity being ourselves at maximum volume. That might work as an explanation, Patterson nodded, his colander array now somehow picking up radio signals from the future. We're not hacking their systems, we're just sharing so enthusiastically that their computers are having an existential crisis. Captain Zhang called out, their flagship's AI is now trying to figure out why humans think it's funny to put bread on cats' heads. I think we broke it. You can't do this, Crix shouted, his ship's background now cycling through every variation of the dancing Spider-Man meme. This violates every rule of warfare. Murphy set down her musical coffee mugs, which had started a barbershop quartet with a nearby calculator. That's the point, Commander. You came here expecting us to follow the rules of warfare, but humanity has never been good at following rules. We're the species that looked at a deadly nightshade plant and thought, I bet those tomatoes would taste great on a sandwich. Their fleet's coordination is breaking down, Zhang reported with glee. Half their ships are trying to figure out why humans think birds aren't real, and the other half are stuck in an infinite loop of trying to understand the plot of every Christopher Nolan movie simultaneously. That might work to our advantage, Patterson said, his colander pyramid now receiving transmissions from what appeared to be a parallel universe where all music was performed by cats. Crix made one last attempt to rally his forces, but it was too late. His flagship's AI had discovered conspiracy theories about Finland not existing and was now attempting to prove or disprove them using interpretive dance. This isn't over, he declared, though the effect was somewhat undermined by his ship's speakers playing yakety sax. We'll be back. Actually, O'Brien started, but the alien fleet had already begun their retreat, their formation looking less like a military withdrawal and more like a group of confused Roombas trying to escape a glitter factory. Murphy watched them go, her coffee mugs performing a victory fanfare composed entirely of Windows startup sounds from throughout history. Well, that went better than expected. That might work as an understatement, Patterson agreed, his colander array now somehow streaming cat videos from dimensions where cats had evolved to become the dominant species. And as the last alien ship disappeared from their sensors, humanity had officially won its first interstellar conflict through the power of pure, weapons-grade weirdness. 1 week after what historians would later call the Great Meme War, despite O'Brien's repeated attempts to suggest more historically accurate names, Captain Murphy sat in her office aboard the S Improbable, reviewing the after-action reports. Her coffee mug, still modified by Patterson, had settled into playing smooth jazz covers of video game boss battle themes. Come in, she called at the sound of knocking, her mug switching to elevator music as the door opened. Lieutenant Zhang entered, carrying what appeared to be a tablet made from 3 different tablets duct-taped together. Captain, you're going to want to see this. We're picking up transmissions from across the galaxy. Actually, O'Brien said, somehow already in the room despite nobody seeing him enter. The signals appear to be spreading through what I can only describe as an interstellar version of viral content sharing. That might work as an explanation, Patterson added from inside a maintenance shaft that definitely hadn't been there yesterday. His colander pyramid had evolved to include what looked like a satellite dish made from pizza pans. Murphy took a long sip of coffee, her mug now performing a jazz fusion version of the Nokia ringtone. Show me. Zhang held up her tri-tablet. Across the galaxy, alien civilizations were sharing Earth's defensive measures like teenagers sharing particularly good memes. The Galactic Dominion's entire military database had been replaced with cat videos. 3 different species had declared keyboard cat their new god. Someone had apparently translated all your base or belong to us into 700 alien languages. We've been officially classified, Zhang reported, trying not to laugh. Earth is now listed in the Galactic Database's approach with extreme caution. Species appears to weaponize nonsense, also makes excellent coffee. Actually, O'Brien began. This marks the first time in recorded history that a civilization has gained diplomatic recognition through the strategic deployment of internet culture. Although there was that one time in 1873 when... The best part, Zhang interrupted, saving them from another historical tangent, is what happened to Supreme Commander Crix. Murphy raised an eyebrow. Oh. That might work as a setup for dramatic news, Patterson called out, his voice echoing oddly through the maintenance shaft. Apparently he's been reassigned. To what? He's now the Galactic Dominion's first Minister of Human Cultural Understanding, Zhang grinned. His first official report was just 3 words, I don't understand. Murphy leaned back in her chair, her coffee mug now performing a lo-fi hip-hop remix of various printer error sounds. So let me get this straight. Not only did we repel an alien invasion using nothing but memes and cat videos, but we've also accidentally turned Earth into the galaxy's equivalent of that one weird friend everyone has who sends strange videos at 3 a.m. That might work as a summary. Patterson emerged from the shaft wearing what appeared to be a combination of his colander pyramid and a disco ball. Also, I've upgraded the ship's defense systems. Now, if anyone scans us, they automatically receive a complete collection of dad jokes translated into their native language. Actually, O'Brien started, but was interrupted by a priority transmission. The screen lit up to show an alien face, not Crix this time, but a representative of the Galactic Council itself. The being looked around nervously, as if afraid they might be bombarded with memes at any moment. People of Earth, the alien began formally. In light of recent events, the Galactic Council has decided to extend an invitation for Earth to join the galactic community. However, we have one condition. Murphy took another sip of coffee, her mug now playing a theremin cover of Never Gonna Give You Up, and that would be. Please, the alien said, looking genuinely distressed. Explain why your species finds pictures of cats asking for cheeseburgers so entertaining. That might work as a diplomatic mission, Patterson mused, his colander array now picking up soap operas from a dimension where everything was resolved through elaborate dance battles. Murphy grinned, holding up her musical coffee mug and a toast. Tell the council we accept their invitation. And as for explaining human humor, well, that's going to take a while, O'Brien. Actually, O'Brien brightened up, pulling out what appeared to be a 47-volume history of internet memes. The cultural significance of lolcats can be traced back to. And that's how humanity found its place in the galaxy, not through superior firepower or advanced technology, but through our species' unique ability to be so wonderfully, chaotically, and enthusiastically human that the rest of the galaxy had no choice but to either accept us or go mad trying to understand us. As for Captain Murphy, she got her coffee machine officially classified as a vital diplomatic tool, Patterson's colander pyramid was declared a cultural landmark, and O'Brien was still trying to explain the historical significance of Nyan Cat to increasingly confused alien scholars. After all, in a galaxy full of logical, orderly civilizations, sometimes the best defense is being that one weird planet that nobody quite understands but everyone's a little afraid to ask about. That might work. Actually, it did.